This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Long gone. Bull is crushed. A grand slam, and the Cougs have 19 runs.
U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. And by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Proud partner of Washington State Athletics.
Swing and a miss, strike three. High heat inside.
Now let's talk Cougar baseball with Cougar head coach Brian Green. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
That time of the week, great to be with you talking baseball with the Skip after a bunch of big W's.
Yeah.
And that's fun to say. Skip, congratulations. You're a hot team. It is what it is. You've been winning games in Tucson. You're winning games in Eugene. You beat the Zags, creeping back up toward 500 overall, but congratulations on a hot streak here.
Can you say we're a hot team one more time, Chaz,
you
so
are
I
a
can
hot
hear
team.
it? Because
I bet that feels good. It feels good to hear.
I didn't think we're going to be able to say that this year, but
yeah.
It's we got fun stuff going on. The bullpen's getting better. The offense is getting better. We've been playing pretty good defense all year, but you go on the road at Arizona, you go on the road at Oregon, you beat Gonzaga in a midweek. We've had troubles midweek, but our game has changed, and it's a really great lesson for our program moving forward. That just stay the course, work hard, put your head down and compete, and play for the Cougs, and good things can happen. But yeah, we got a good vibe going right now, and with SC coming to town, we feel good about things. So an exciting week for Cougar baseball.
Jack Smith's 357 hitting right now. Intentionally walked in a key moment to get to Jacob McKeon.
What did you just say?
They intentionally walked him to get to Jacob McKeon, which may have been a mistake in the end, although McKeon made it a mistake because he hit the I think tying or go-ahead RBI into right field last night against the Zags. So he made it a mistake, we'll put it that way, whatever their calculus was.
Yeah, Jack he's been so good, and I probably would have done the same thing. Jack can handle velocity. Their guy was up to 97.
Wow.
The ball that McKeon hit was 95.
Is that right?
Yeah, and
scoreboard radar didn't reflect that as much.
Yeah,
radar
we had a different TrackMan radar, but they can. Those guys are good. They have a really good bullpen, but Smith has shown the ability to hit fastballs, and against Gonzaga, he's done that. Yeah. And Jacob hadn't just against Gonzaga.
Sure.
He hit soft and not firm, and he hit firm in Eugene, but. Yeah, Jack commented that. That's why I made the comment. Jack said, "Coach, I've never seen this. I don't even know what that means when I'm in the box." So, but hitting close to 370, what a season he's put together. But McKeon too, he's right on his heels, and we got three guys in the middle of the lineup who are kind of doing it right now.
Yeah, you have batting averages now of 357 for Smith, 315 for McKeon. It was really 260 like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like a week and a half ago. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's way up now. Bryce Matthews is up to 291, Vanderbrake 277. This is more like it.
Yeah, and these aren't gaudy numbers, but I think, Chaz, as you know, where we were 2 weeks ago,
right.
We're looking at you've got maybe two or three guys in the lineup who are sub 220, so it's changed in a hurry for us. We're having, I think it's 5 straight games with double-digit hits. The approach has changed. There's confidence. There's trust. And, we're right now, at least anyways, there's 5 or 6 guys in the lineup at a time who are hitting and producing. Montez is creeping up on it. He's actually he's doing really well his last couple of weeks and playing phenomenal defense. So it's changed dramatically. When you go up late to late 2/3 of the season and your batting average goes up as a team, 15, 20 points, you're hot, and that's what we are.
Yeah, you have the bigger sample size. It's harder to do. Yeah. So take me back to Eugene. It was a heartbreaker on Friday night. It was a 10th inning loss, 1-run loss, but then you come back. You win the series, 2-run win on Saturday, and then a comeback 1-run win on Sunday. 3 really tight games. You almost got the sweep. What was that series like start to finish?
It started with just extreme competitiveness from our guys. McMillan was dominant. We wanted to spend him more, but it was about time for him to come. But he was dominant on the mound. Offensively, we were putting great at-bats the entire game. We get up big. The game feels like it's over, and the next thing you know, it's 7-2 in the ninth with an out, and the next thing you know, it's 7-3. You're a strike away from a Friday night win in Eugene, and then it's hit, and the next thing you know, in extra innings. And even then, we came back into the 10th, and it was still competitive. But, gut punch. We got beat, just like we did at Cal. We didn't give it away. We got beat. And so credit to the Ducks. But to see a team come back on a Saturday after that type of loss, given where we were, to then come out and get 10 runs, 14, 15 hits, and then to pitch the way we did, compete the way we did, it was really impressive. And then, you move to Sunday, it's 7-3 in the eighth, and you've got an All-American warming up in the bullpen with another left-hander who's 92, 95. Now it's McKeon, make it 7-5, and then let's just gut 2 runs in the ninth and then win it in the 10th. We got a little something going right now, and we saw it last night against the Zags, too. We're really, really competing as a team, and it's so fun to be in the dugout right now.
A lot of time left, too. You've got 14 games or 13 games maybe as far as the math goes with a 17-22 record with a 7-14 pack record, but you've got the 3-pack series left. And if you're hot, you're hot, right? So, you're right there trying to get back into that thick of that Pac-12 tourney seeding discussion is really what the goal is.
That's it, Chaz. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it's where are we, who are we, what are we going to be, and at least all we're begging for as a program when you're in that position is we just want to make sure that we're playing for something tomorrow, and the next day are we playing something, and all of a sudden we've got 3 home weekends, we've got 3 in the pack to go, 2 at home, 2 teams that are within the conversation with the tournament, SC behind us, and A-State in front of us, that's down the road. But we have a heartbeat for the tournament. And so just even to be able to say that from where we were 2-3 weeks ago is an accomplishment. But we're in it now. We're fighting for a tournament spot. We're in the tournament conversation, and we just have to take care of business. So great league, great competition, and we know that. But we're in it, so it's fun because we get to get up and we get to chase something.
3 teams are going to get left out. That's part of the deal. Should one get left out and somebody's going to, you want it to be with a fight. I mean, you want it to be, and that's a done deal now. That you're
that's in. It. We're in. We're fighting. We're in the ring. We're going there, and that's all you can ask for. And like last year, there were a couple of teams. If we would have had a tournament, their gloves were down. In week 7. We're certainly not in that conversation. So everybody's still in it. But SC comes to town. They're behind us by 2.
Right.
And we're excited about that. We're playing well, and and they're SC's SC, so it's gonna be a great series. But we'll talk about the RVs later.
Yeah, we'll need to do RV. We'll do a little RV check-in.
Yeah, we got to check it in.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. Come back. We've got the Cougs coming up against USC. There's only one more road series left the whole year. That's at UCLA coming up. And they're home the rest of the way.
I know. I don't even know how to Let's just stay home, please.
Home the rest of the way, except for that one. It's fantastic. All right, we'll take a break. Come back talking ball here with the Skip as we're live here at Zeppos.
It's time to bring the big game to your backyard. With battery power made by Steel. Our AK Homeowner Series battery tools start at just $199.99. Find yours at over 10,000 local dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours. All prices SNW SRP.
I'm Ian McGregor of the McGregor Company. It takes so much to raise a successful crop, from seed to nutrition, protection, and technology. There are so many choices that growers make. We are passionate about helping sort through what works and what will ultimately have an impact on the bottom line of our customers. We're invested in the communities we serve and invested in improving crop production through applied research, skill, technology, and most importantly, through dedicated people who care about farm families, the environment, local communities.
This is Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Boost Collaborative is a proud sponsor of Cougar Baseball and is a proud supporter of people with disabilities on the Palouse. For over 50 years, Boost Collaborative has been here to help families and their toddlers meet developmental milestones. For youth and adults, Boost provides job placement, on-the-job training, and follow-along supports. Now you can play a part in Boost's success through your donations and purchases at Palouse Treasures Thrift Store in Pullman. Boost Collaborative, empowering people with disabilities on the Palouse. Go Cougs!
Giza Credit Union is a proud partner of WSU Athletics and the unofficial sponsor of Waving the Flag, Kickoff Keys, and Jaws Chants. And we couldn't be prouder to host Cougar Football Saturdays at Giza Field, where the old Crimson faithful always find their way back home, and where you'll hear the 2 greatest words in the world echo across the field. Go Cougs! Get special offers and apply for a Giza WSU Athletics debit card at giza.com/WSU.
Back at it live here at Zeppo's Talking Baseball with his skipper Brian Green as the Cougs take on USC. This is a conventional Friday, Saturday, Sunday. TV for this one on the PAC Network. 6 o'clock pitch, 6 o'clock pitch, noon pitch. So you go night, and then noon. You had a windy, blustery evening. Usually the wind blows out during the day. And you had a windy night against the Zags, and I'll be darned if that didn't affect some of those baseballs out there in right field. That was an adventure for the right fielders on Tuesday. Yeah, both sides. That was a whole deal.
Both sides. And Montez, we shifted him over to center. He's just such a good defender, and he was kind of coasting out there because he knows our wind. And, we hammered a couple balls to right center, and the wind got a hold of him. But Hainline got one up into the wind a little bit, and he hit it hard, but it got to the wall in center. And, McKeon's leadoff triple. The wind helped that and made it a tough play. It was a challenging night. It was gusting out there all night.
Kind of twisting, too. I thought some of those balls were actually hit really straight and then ended up deep to right field. Let's talk Hainline for a little bit. Freshman, Spokane kid. He said in the interview post-game, he said, just incredible to beat those guys. And
for him.
Have 3 runs driven in. He said it was the team he had kind of grown up. He didn't say with, but it was the local squad, the Bulldogs were. Yeah. And he's a Coug, and he gets to beat those guys. He said it was great.
He's been a great player for us.
Yeah.
You've seen it, Chaz, but, an elite defender. He's playing third base as a freshman. For me, third base is the toughest position to play on the field, especially if you go to the natural. It's such a challenge with spin, bunt, you're moving positions. It's just such a challenging position, and he's done it. Like a pro, and he can play anywhere on the infield. He can play anywhere in the field. He is a tremendous defender. He's been a freshman at the plate, like they all are, but we keep giving him opportunities, and we're not even giving him opportunities anymore. He's earned it. He's in there, and he's a great player, and he's come up with some really big hits. He did it in Eugene, and he did it last night. He had a big RBI to take the lead or to tie it, and then he had the double that scored 2 early in the game. Been a great player for us, and he's got a bright future ahead of him.
3 runs driven in, just a freshman.
Yeah.
3 runs driven in against the Bulldogs to confirm last night, and gives you that glove, that plus glove. Defensively, the gloves really all the way across from first to third have been great at times, right? You've got Russell, and then Smith's transferred over to first base this year, and now you've got Cody Colden there at shortstop. Shy of the sun blinding Kyle Russell at first base on Tuesday night, last night. Really, really clean last night.
We're the Jack Smith, the first, because of Hainline. That's just changed our program. And one of the assistant coaches at Arizona just even said that when we were playing him. It was like, man, Jack at first and that freshman at third, you got a real Pac-12 defense, and we do. Credit to Elijah. Colden's done it for a few years. Russell's talented, and he's done it. But, you move a freshman over to third, that enables us to put Jack at first. I think that's why you're seeing Jack offensively do so well. It gives him an opportunity to rest and breathe a little bit. We got good defense in the infield, so and then Myers playing better, catching better, and here's Cresswell as a freshman. Interior defense has been pretty good. In fact, our entire defense has been. Montez has been, been on ESPN a couple times already, and Vandy's grinding, and so defense has not been an issue. It's been about the hitting and the pitching, and that stuff's getting better, and which is why you're seeing better results.
How is Smith doing? He DH'd last night. It was McKeon at first base. Did a fine job.
Yeah.
Those two kind of could go back and forth maybe that way through this series. Maybe they will. Maybe that's how it goes.
Yeah, Jack is, he rolled up on the bag at Eugene on Sunday. And it didn't do anything. But he had a nice little swell there, so we just wanted to do the best job that we could to DH him. I think that happened on Saturday. We DH'd him on Sunday.
Sure.
We won the series, and we DH'd him last night. But he'd be ready to go. He'll be at first base this weekend. He's a real defender, but it's nice to have McKeon behind him if you need it.
Yeah, that's a great luxury.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Montez in the outfield, and you put him in center last night.
Yeah.
He'd been in right for a bunch of the year. Covers so much ground, probably takes some pressure off the corner outfielders there.
It's just if you look at our lineup, Chaz, we're winning a lot of games right now. I say a lot, but we're playing really competitive baseball right now, and there is a group of about 10 guys who we're performing. So tough to really make a change there. You've got Matthews, you got Montez, you got Vandy, you got Meyer and Cresswell in between, and then you got Hainline, Colden, Russell, and then McKeon and Smith. So those 10 players right now are essentially kind of what we're doing today. And then you've got a Swartz, a Stancato, a Jones. Those guys are kind of right there waiting, and they're doing a great job when they get their opportunity on the bench. But that's kind of where it is today. And we're at a spot now where we actually get to settle into a lineup.
Did it take a little longer than you had hoped to figure out roles for some of the guys on this squad in terms of bullpen, in terms of where guys are going to be defensively, what's going to work, what's not? Or did it just take time because that's baseball? Because that just is what it is, and you had a slower start than you would have hoped for, and there's nothing else to say other than that. You know what I mean?
I think it's a combo of that, Chaz. We certainly did have a slower start than we had expected. Our expectations probably outdistanced our schedule. Hawaii is one of the hotter teams in America right now. They've won 8 of 9 in Big West play. Long Island has got a top 50 RPI. They're like 19-5 or whatever they are. So, but I think for us, we really went into it excited about 15, 16, maybe even 17 position players that we were going to shuffle around.
Right.
Have a left-handed matchup lineup, have a right-handed heavy lineup against left. And we really wanted to make that a go because we felt like that was going to be critical for us. And it hadn't shaken out that way. So here we are. Yeah.
How hard is scheduling non-conference? And what I mean is it hard to get teams to travel? And have you found that the teams that do want to travel are really, really good and from their league, like a Long Island or, a few years back, what comes to mind is that there was a McNeese State squad that came here and went really deep in the postseason. They came here because they wanted a chance to beat a Pac squad, and they agreed to it probably because they kind of knew. They knew what they were. And it may be it's hard to know. It's hard to scout. It's hard to – is it a challenge? Is it actually easy to get teams to come, because it's a Pac school? What's that process like?
It's a pretty good challenge. You have a lot of – one of the things that we have now in the Pac is we have the bye week because of the tournament.
Right.
So you're only looking at potentially 5 teams across the country who might have – in week 7 of conference play in May or late April, who has that available? There might only be 5 to choose from. We can handle that one because we got great weather in Pullman in the spring. The challenge that I've come across as being the head coach here and having our first full run at our schedule is home schedule. How do you get an opponent to come here week 3? You can do it. It's not as easy as our fans would probably think. Pullman's a tough place to get to. The weather can be iffy in March, even though we know, you check the Farmer's Almanac, March is better than April. It seems weird? Like it's very strange.
Feels that way.
But so we know that we can get people to come in here 50, 60 degrees in late March, but it can be a challenge.
Yeah.
So it's a battle for me. When I look at our schedule this year, I've made some mistakes, Chaz, and I know that, and we won't make them again. We were on the road too much. There's a very high probability at Washington State, weeks 1, 2, and 3 are probably going to be on the road.
Yep.
But where we can adjust is that Tuesday game in between those weekends. We get our kids home. We get them one more day in the weight room, the classroom, or in their own beds.
Yeah.
I may have tired our kids out a little bit, and I regret that, and I took that for granted because I haven't experienced it.
Sure.
That won't happen again. Scheduling's a challenge at Pullman. You got to be really, really heads up on what you're doing and how you're doing it, or you could fatigue your team the way that potentially I maybe did in the first couple weeks of this year.
Yeah, and it probably is one of those deals you have to live it.
Got to live it, and I haven't lived it.
You have to know. Yeah.
And Chaz, it's a fascinating thing because last year we had this schedule for this year put together last year. We would have experienced it and lived it last year, but COVID hit. We lost a weekend in week 3. And then we ended up having a home series in week 4, maybe vice versa. But anyways, I didn't experience what we did experience this year. So the first thing that we did in week 3 this year was, we're going to cancel that Tuesday game that we had there in the middle of weeks 2 and 3. We're not doing that again. We're getting back to Pullman.
Yeah. I think there's an art to it.
There is an art to it, and I'm proud to acknowledge the fact that I made a mistake, but we won't make it again, And
it's not even why I brought it up. I was thinking about
I'm glad you did. It's a good question, and it's a relevant question.
I was thinking about what you said about like Long Island. It's hard, especially in college baseball. It's not just your football powerhouse schools that are really good. Especially you start talking about Big West. You start talking about some leagues that don't have football. You play some really good baseball in some of these leagues. You could play New Mexico State over the past few years and run into a really good squad that's going to make noise. You've got some, very inverted situations like a Dallas Baptist, right, where it's a national powerhouse. It's not a national football name. It's not a national basketball name. They are a baseball school. You could historically have played Rice and run into that same sort of deal. So it's hard to know what's what and how to get it done. And you want to have a good test. You also don't want to overdo it because you're about to get into the pack, right?
Yeah, it's so fascinating. You schedule 2 years out. And I remember a couple years ago at New Mexico State, we brought in a club, and I won't mention them just because out of respect, but we were both on the phone kind of chuckling 2 years out because we thought when I put the schedule together that, well, we're going to roll this team in Las Cruces. There's going to be 4 wins. And the guy on the other side of the phone, who's now also a Power 5 coach, was saying, oh, yeah, we'll come to Las Cruces, and then we're going to just wax you at your place. Oh. And we both scheduled together at the time. It was my first year in Las Cruces. We were 10 and 30, and he was living the same nightmare. Well, 2 years later, he's got a first-rounder on the mound.
Oh, boy.
And we've got Nick Gonzalez as a freshman. And the next thing, there's a no-hitter through 7. His name was Karenchek, and he's in the big leagues. But anyways, that could 2 years out, scheduling can change, So there's an art form to it, and you've got to figure out what you're doing.
How fun is it to have memories like that with coaches? You mentioned that gentleman's a Power 5 coach now. And now you get to be nostalgic a little bit. Like you get to look back and the handshake with the card exchange. It's different. It's different now. You've ascended to this point. Here you are. You're the Coug guy, and now you get to kind of have guys you've worked up with, or you coach against Utah. And I know your relationship with Coach Henderson goes so far back.
Yeah.
And you get to have these kind of discussions with guys.
Those are really fun. I mean, you open up this year against Coach Hill at Hawaii. It was one of my biggest, greatest mentors, and he was at my dad's funeral, one of the first guys there, and I mean, just he's one of my guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see Coach Savage in 2 weeks, in Westwood. That's what makes the job really fun, because in the baseball industry, typically when you work underneath somebody special, they probably impacted your life, and that's probably why you're still in the game. So it's really awesome to be able to go back, for me personally, with Coach Hill, Coach Savage, Coach Henderson, when it was Case. Those are great memories, or Trapp at Hawaii. Those are pretty cool.
How tight-knit of a community is it? Are there any coaches or maybe coaching trees that you don't know? Are there? Does everybody kind of know everybody?
I think everybody knows everybody, but it's really regionalized, But you've got 2 or 3 big trees in California or Southern California, the West Coast, I should say, and then you've got those 2 or 3 really big trees out east, and the same thing in the Midwest or Texas. But we all know what tree we're under.
There just aren't that many teams.
No.
There aren't enough. Yeah, everybody knows everybody. All right, let's do this. Take a break, come back. It's the Cougs coming up against USC this week. Really important series. Now they all are. It is officially crunch time. You've got 3-pack series left. You have that non-pack weekend. That's against Utah Valley. We'll go through the schedule here in a little bit. Talking baseball with the skipper, Brian Green, live here at Zeppo's.
A lot goes into Washington State athletes reaching peak performance for game day, including the right nutrition. At Wilbur Ellis, we know that healthy crop performance requires the same attention to nutrition as an athlete. That's why we use benchmark data points to maximize crop productivity through nutrient efficiency. For 100 years, family-owned Wilbur Ellis has been partnering with Washington's farmers to grow healthier crops. That is the winning ag experience for Cougar Nation, locally provided by Wilbur Ellis.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital is being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve healthcare and health outcomes for all of us. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
This is Derek Jones, and you're listening to Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Back at it live here talking baseball with the skipper, Brian Green, as we get set for this Friday, Saturday, Sunday against USC. Cougs are 5 games away from 500, 17-22. Couldn't say that a few weeks back.
No.
And with the schedule coming up, you and I kind of danced around it a little bit on the air, and I wasn't sure how hard I wanted to dig in. I'm very glad I didn't, because I would have been dead wrong. But you've got a record that you don't like, and you've got a streak that you don't like, and you've got 9th-ranked Arizona on the road. You've got 10th-ranked Oregon on the road. You've got a couple of Tuesdays against a Gonzaga team that's in the midst of its best season ever. They've now won 6 straight West Coast Conference series, and they have their best record this deep into the year, and it was like, uh-oh, what's going on? Now here you are, right back in it. I mean, it is completely inverted. You flipped it around. You've gotten hot right when you needed to.
All I wanted to talk about was the RV program.
Well, and we could have been if
no, Chaz. Yeah, it was kind of bleak. I mean, we're not pitching well, we're not hitting well. There's not. It's not good.
Yeah, we had a long conversation before the BP before that.
Where is this guy and where is this guy who have been great players in your program? And it was so for what our kids have done to go into Arizona. And I remember even talking before the Arizona series, hey guys, there's probably 2 places in the league that are just impossible to play: Arizona and Eugene. Mm-hmm. Well, we have 2 of them in front of us. In fact, those are our next 2 road series. So I don't know what to tell you other than it's going to take an extraordinary effort for us the way that we're currently playing. We're going to have to take our pitching from here to here. We're going to have to take our hitting from here to here, and this is how we're going to do that. And our dugout is going to have to change. Owen Leonard decided to bring some straw cowboy hat in.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second.
And we're celebrating runs, and all of a sudden baseball's fun again.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, we're competing at that level. Baseball is just a crazy game. And we have completely flipped who we were just from 3 weeks ago. It's very fun to be a part of.
Tell me more about the Owen Leonard straw hat. Tell me more about Owen Leonard, and then tell me more about the Owen Leonard straw hat.
I mean, Owen he cares more about this program than anybody, and it's all about team first. He's a special Coug, a SAC leader, leadership council guy, and but that hat thing, I take no credit for that. It just showed up. And Owen just said, hey,
so
Skip.
He just showed up in the dugout with a cowboy hat on?
Well, he didn't do that, but he put it right on the side, and he said, hey, Skip, we're going to have some fun. When we score, we're going to have some fun. I said, dude,
whatever.
Anything, please. I don't have the answers.
For a little blip, he was the closer, like 2 years ago. Owen Leonard,
he was real.
Owen Leonard was the guy out of the pen. I don't know if he got a little bit banged up or
he did.
Yeah,
he got banged up a little bit. He was real. Our first year, he was over the top.
Yeah.
Up to 94. Up here, he could drop down here, sink it, slide it both sides, be fast, be slow. We had huge plans for him, and he's battled injuries, and we wanted to give him a go. Anyways, he had a little bit of that, so he dropped down this year. He's been in some games. He's been in some conference games, but Owen Leonard's all about team first integrity and how can I provide value. And, he's a complete winner. He's going to crush it in life.
I love that. And he comes in, kind of raises the morale of the squad.
Oh, it's awesome. And he made that up, and all of a sudden this cowboy thing, I want to wear one.
Where's Owen from? Is he?
He's a Seattle guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's from Texas or anything.
No.
No. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
He's down there having a blast.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the turnover chain, but it's not the turnover chain.
It's the same thing.
It's the same deal.
It's that thing. Yeah, we've
Is
got
that
that going.
Are there other ones around the
I'm not aware of it, but I'll tell you what, I've learned it. We're going to need to have prepared in the fall 3 or 4 things to do because it's very cool. When we score, guys are down there doing the hoedown, and it's fun.
That's so good.
I just get out of the way. If you see us, I just walk down the line. I'm out.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you do something special, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but at some point the hat goes on Skipper. If something big happens, kind of got there.
I did throw it on after the Arizona series. We got on the bus. I did walk on. I was wearing it.
There we go. Good. I was going to say at some point that has to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, let's preview USC a little bit here. The Trojans have a record that I know they're not happy with. They're 5-13 in the pack. You want to have a little bit of distance here after this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the goal. You're 7-14. They're 5-13. You're hot right now. They do have some numbers that pop out to you, though. They can hit, right? They've got some offensive numbers that are plus, and they have a really good frontline arm. Charlie Hurley at 2.55 ERA. So you've got a big-time starter. But it hasn't worked out for them in pack play the way I'm sure that they would love it to.
I think the Trojans kind of mirror the Cougs. Pretty good team and not getting the results that they want. They're running, especially in conference play. They're probably the best base running team in the league. They've got a couple, 2-3 guys at the top of their line or their top of the offense that are putting up big numbers. Pitching-wise, from a rotation standpoint, they're doing that. And probably a little bit disappointed in their bullpen, just like most of us are, but they got a good team. And even if you look at their numbers, offense, defense, pitching, I mean, it's all way fine.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to do a really good job. I don't think I'll have to work really hard. It is USC.
Right.
It is the Trojans, but we're going to have to do a really good job of making sure that record is not a part of our kids because – Jason Gill and Teddy, that's a great coaching staff. It's USC, and they got real players. So we're going to have to show up. It's going to be a great series, but it's nice to know that with USC coming to town, we have some confidence.
Yeah, for sure. You feel good about yourselves with a big name. USC's always kind of USC, right?
It's USC.
Dato Field and all that it is. Does Andre Agassi travel when they play?
He was there last year.
He was there last year.
I didn't go get an interview, but he was there.
Kept walking right by me.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Jaden Agassi started 6 games this year.
Yeah,
pretty good numbers. Just jumps out to you. It's part of the deal.
He's pretty good.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's do this. We're up against it. We're going to put some breaks here in the middle and then not have to jam them in the back. So we'll take a break here right now. Cougs against the Trojans. We'll dive deeper into this series here Friday, Saturday, Sunday coming up.
The Clearwater River Casino and Lodge proudly supports Washington State University Athletics, the premier venue for events and entertainment, located 4 miles east of Lewiston, Idaho. Come hit the jackpot with us, with over 600 gaming machines, saltwater pool, restaurant, and giant screens in the Stadium Sports Bar. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe, our hospitality is legendary. Stay, play, and get away with the Clearwater River Casino. Go Cougs!
Start enjoying your maintenance-free lifestyle today with Choices. Bishop Place Senior Living has many options to explore depending on the level of care you need. Bishop Place has a wide range of activities, social events, and fitness options depending on your interests. We also have housekeeping and dining service. Less worry, less chores, more life, and more choices. Visit us on the web at bishopplace.net or call to schedule your tour today. We can't wait to see you.
Cougar baseball lives here on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Back at it live here talking baseball with the skipper, Brian Green. We're live here at Zeppo's. Got a few pack series left and have the non-pack weekend as we break down this USC opponent here. Skip is a head-scratcher. USC's pretty good, actually maybe really good, at just about where you want to be. They hit a ton of home runs. Their batting averages are high. Their pitching numbers are good. They've got 3 starters with numbers that you like. They've got a bullpen. I don't get it. I'm confused as to the 5-13 record, and by that I mean this is a dangerous squad coming in here onto the Blues.
I know, and welcome to Pac-12 baseball.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, SC's numbers, they've got real power numbers. They're playing good defense. Their batting average is fine. They've got some elite hitters at the top, and they've got some elite pitching at the front. So it's going to be a great series. They just, college baseball. Certainly, I've been doing it for a little bit. But it's entirely about week-to-week mojo. And the team that was in Seattle 6 weeks ago, we don't recognize that team. I don't even know who that team was wearing the Coug uniform versus the team that was in Eugene last weekend, and it's the same group of kids. So, mojo is so important for college baseball. Culture is so important for college baseball. We've got a really good vibe and a good feel going right now, so we hope to keep that. Hopefully we keep the Trojans down if they have one, but they got a good team. I mean, we've seen them on video. We've been watching it all week, and we're going to have our hands full.
That's why you really need that full sample size to figure out who's good, right?
Yeah.
You can't look at a one weekend.
Couple of weeks, yeah.
It doesn't cut it. You can look at 10.
And people forget injuries too, and if especially in college baseball, we're 11.7 scholarships. If you look at the Cougs, here Barrison's out, Farland's out, Hawkins is out. That's your 3 best bullpen guys a month ago. So go handle that. Nobody knows that, but and SC has had some of that too. Even when one starter goes out for a weekend, it can just change the complexion of how you operate. And those are things that sometimes get overlooked that can impact culture dramatically.
We need to talk about Duke Brotherton. I meant to bring him up.
Yeah, sure.
Came out of nowhere in Eugene. Big arm, big recruit. We knew.
Big recruit.
He had big talent. Hadn't done a ton. Was trying to figure it out. And then, wow, did he bust out in Eugene in a big moment. Oregon's really, statistically at least, the best hitting team in the pack, one of the best hitting teams in the country, and he shut him down.
So we go out to the circle after the game on Sunday, and we're all giddy because, we had earned that one. They didn't give it to us, and we grabbed it. And it just felt so good to pick up our fists and just fight against a great opponent on the road. And Duke's out there, and he's wearing the straw hat.
the run scored hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
good.
He's laughing,
That's
and
good.
he's yucking it up.
Yeah.
And I walk out there, and I say, Duke, act like you've done it before.
Yeah.
And then I paused, and I went,
he hasn't.
Wait a minute. You know what? You haven't. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And no, but it was awesome. Duke's he's been coming. Clags has been saying that in the bullpen.
Yeah.
He was a big recruit. Had some struggles last year. He's got good stuff. I mean, he's got a pro body. His arm works. It's up to 94, but he comes in. He's probably thinking this is one of my last shots. I really got to perform right now, or I might not get in. That's the pressure the kids put on themselves. I don't know, but he went in there and looked like a professional. 90-92, throw into the glove, every pitch. I'm listening to Clags on the walkie-talkie. This is what he wants, and that's where he's throwing it. 3 innings out of nowhere, and he's got the talent to do it. But Duke Brotherton probably won us a series. We were on the mat. We had no more pitching. We were exhausted. So that was such a cool moment, and that's why being a part of a baseball team is really fun sometimes.
Well, it also adds an arm in a utilitarian sense. You have this other option now.
Yeah.
As you're coming down the stretch in moments you need to win, and I've got to think against USC. I don't know which moment, and I don't know how tight it'll be and what the deal is and how Clags sees Brotherton's role moving forward, but maybe bolsters some of the bullpen there because you do have injuries. I don't know how Barrison's doing. Hawkins hasn't thrown a ton since he's come back.
Haven't been able to extend him yet.
Yeah.
We'll have Farland back this weekend.
Okay.
That's exciting. Elias has been a great competitor for us. But, you add Duke to the mix. It's just exciting, and happy to give him the ball again and see what he can do because he can help us win. You never know when that happens. Hopefully it's maybe same thing happened to Grant Taylor. Grant did nothing as a freshman. All of a sudden he shows up in the middle of his sophomore year, and now he's the Friday guy. Who knows?
It was against USC.
Yeah, it was.
Grant Taylor's breakout was, I think he threw 50-something pitches of basically shutout ball against USC.
That's right.
Bobby Allworth couldn't make that series. He decided that he needed to stay home for that one last year.
Yeah,
he
really.
Decision.
Yeah, late in the year, he loves the golf course.
Well, listen,
so we're used to it.
Some aren't cut out everybody knows. I get it.
It's all part of the deal.
It is what it is. But Bobby, it's kind of Bobby just being Bobby. But that's okay.
We're used to it.
We make it through. It's Cougs against the Trojans here. As I think Bobby will show up for that one Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which would be good. It's scheduled to have two starters now. I think scheduled. You had Cottrell come out in a winning moment, and then Caden Kalber threw his season high pitches in pressure moments last night on a cold night, on a windy night against a Bulldog team that lets you have it a couple weeks ago in Spokane. And then Kalber, he threw 52 pitches. That was his season high. His previous high was 48 against Wichita State.
Yeah, he's been a completely different animal the last couple weeks. I mean, Eugene, same thing. Caden's got great arm. I mean, when you're up to 92 from right here, it's pretty nasty. But his last 2-3 outings, he's just been a pitcher. He's not been a thrower, and that's what's enabled him to get longer. I think he's maybe learning, too, that he doesn't have to go in there and heave it. He can actually just be right here and not be as firm and sink it and locate because he's just so deceptive. You get some 6'9", 6'10" coming from right here, crossfire. That's not real fun if you're a right-handed hitter, and they call him the rooster. And, for what, I don't even know why. But so, no, that was incredible. I mean, he's just been phenomenal for us. He's been a big piece. Him and Grillo and Liss. Those three guys, what they've done, and Haft has been in there as well, but those three guys over the course of the last 5-6 games, I mean, they've just been complete workhorses.
What's Haft's velo maxing out?
It's up to 6.
Yeah, 96. I was going to say he's getting it way up there.
No, he gets it up there if he can just trust his stuff and throw to the glove. Yeah. I mean, it is 96.
Wow.
And 92 is just fine if you're hitting the glove.
Sure.
But Tyler, we're very confident in him and putting him in the game because he's got great stuff, and if he can find a way to trust himself and the relationship with the glove, and trust that, he's going to continue to get more people out.
Was he 96 last year?
No.
Yeah.
God, no. No. He's late in the year. I think he got up to 4, started touching it, and it was like, wow, it's starting to come.
Yeah.
But him and Coach Clags have done a really good job with his velocity development. There's no doubt about that.
I was going to say he came out and started throwing, real hard. I thought, gosh, that's a different level for him. Well, that's a whole different. That's a bullpen right there. Is what it is. I mean, you've got options and guys that you could put in pressure situations. So we didn't see Grillo last night against the Zags. Calber came back out for that 9th inning, put those extra pitches on the arm, extended Calber a little bit. That won't affect him for USC.
No.
Right?
No, he's loose.
Yeah,
he'll be fine. It was a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. That was good too.
Got it.
So we got an extra day. Yeah,
and not a Thursday, Friday, Saturday
exactly.
pack. So you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you'll have the full buffet of
full thing,
of options there. Exciting. I mean, listen, that's a huge deal in a pack series to have guys emerging this late.
No doubt.
In the bullpen, and that absolutely makes the difference in the series.
Yeah, and that's why the last couple of weekends have been so satisfying because we've kind of limped into those weekends not knowing, what we had or who we're going to have, and you feel like you've got 6 guys to go to, and all of a sudden you feel like maybe you've got 8 going into the following weekend. And that just changes everything. So that's an exciting piece. You're right, Chaz.
All right, we'll step aside and take a break. We've only got a couple more left as we're on the back end of the show. It's the Cougs against the Trojans, 6 o'clock on Friday. Cougs first pitch against USC, 5:45 airtime. We'll be right back here live at Zeppo's Talking Ball with the Skipper.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud. It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Gisa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Gisa Credit Union. Gisa is an equal opportunity lender.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This is Jay Miller, and you're listening to Cougar Baseball on the Washington State Sports Network.
It's time to bring the big game to your backyard. With battery power made by Steel. Our AK Homeowner Series battery tools start at just $199.99. Find yours at over 10,000 local dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours. All prices SNW SRP.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital is being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve healthcare and health outcomes for all of us. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Back at it live here talking baseball with the skipper Brian Green as we roll our way through here this coaches show on the way to the USC series of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, of course, an option and an appealing one is to drive the RV and park it at the tailgate scene, which has been well populated before this PAC series here against USC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Always an option now for Cougar baseball.
Next to Coach Green, I think that's a really big draw, Chaz.
That's the plug. That's really what it is. I buried the lead. You can park and stay next to the skipper as you dine before the game.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and if we all know what it's like to come here for football weekends and how fun that is.
Yeah.
Which I bought a pass, and I'm right in the middle of it with all the fans.
Are you in the heat of battle there?
I'm in the heat of battle.
You're in the trenches?
Yeah. And, so the recruits, they come to my RV. And,
that's fun.
But what we do in baseball, we did it in New Mexico State, and I'm just so appreciative of the administration for letting it happen. We started off with, let's cap it at 5, and that lasted about 5 minutes, and it was at 25.
Is it really?
So
what's the lot? It's near the bubble, isn't it? Like behind the stadium at the right field.
Stadium, and we have actually just kind of taken that lot over, and it's just packed, and it's so fun.
Is it 25?
That's the cap.
What's it fit?
They've capped. We've capped it at 25.
It's not that big. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's actually twice now that we've sold it out.
That's awesome.
And with the great weather, with 3 weekends left.
Yeah.
Come out, bring your RV, park next to us. The coaches, we'll be out there after the games. We're hanging out with the families and parents and fans, and they're cooking. And
I love it.
Yeah, and I get up and have coffee and turn the fire on, and there's fans out. It's very fun.
It's super fun.
But now we've got the beer garden too at Bailey Brayton, and our crowds have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Last night was great. Our student, we had a little student section going on last night, and they were getting on the Zags. It was actually pretty effective.
It was really fun back and forth. And, by the way, last night, good crowd. Cold, windy night, good crowd.
Great crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was miserable. I mean, because of the wind. It was just, was just
whipping.
It was whipping. So our fans are awesome, and they've been there for us all year. So great weather this weekend against the Trojans. We got a little momentum. Bring your RV or come on out and drink some beers, and let's go Cougs.
You can really smell the smoker when the wind whips that way. When you're in the stadium, it really blows it over. They've got this bacon cheeseburger situation down that left field line. Phenomenal.
I smelled it.
Phenomenal.
I smelled it too.
Tantalizing.
I smelled it. I did.
What's the snack situation in the dugout? Are you a PB&J guy? Is it a PB&J deal? Is it are you not eating during games at all? Are you
for myself?
Yeah.
No, I don't eat.
You're not an eater. Okay.
No, some of our kids
some
of our players make a career out of eating in the dugout.
That's what I'm saying. It's a whole thing. There's a whole baseball thing going on.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah. No question. Some of them are absolute pros at eating snacks.
Yeah.
But
no, especially now with the new complex.
Oh yeah.
Because if you whirl in there, it's just this buffet of snacks.
Well, yeah. I mean, today was Nacho Day. Coach Clagg's helped himself.
Nacho Day.
Yeah. No, Coach Clagg's.
How did that work? Wait a minute. I'm not in the complex.
In the complex.
Yeah, amazing. So
it's the food that we have is our nutrition staff is phenomenal. I mean, it's literally, but it's avocado and lettuce and a chicken or beef, and it's
incredible.
We've got a healthy deal every day: tuna and high carbs, eggs, and it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I mean, our kids, if they're not just totally dialed in the uniform, it's probably their fault.
Yeah, it's on them. It's on them. You're gonna fill that thing out.
Yeah.
All right, we need to take a break. It's our last one. We'll come back, talk live here. Next, final segment. It's a skipper here talking about USC, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday series coming up from Bailey Brayton.
Boost Collaborative is a proud sponsor of Cougar Baseball and is a proud supporter of people with disabilities on the Palouse. For over 50 years, Boost Collaborative has been here to help families and their toddlers meet developmental milestones. For youth and adults, Boost provides job placement, on-the-job training, and follow-along supports. Now you can play a part in Boost's success through your donations and purchases at Palouse Treasures Thrift Store in Pullman. Boost Collaborative, empowering people with disabilities on the Palouse. Go Cougs!
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Your home for Cougar baseball.
He looks up and it's gone. 2-run, 2-out homer.
The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Start enjoying your maintenance-free lifestyle today with Choices. Bishop Place Senior Living has many options to explore depending on the level of care you need. Bishop Place has a wide range of activities, social events, and fitness options depending on your interests. We also have housekeeping and dining service. Less worry, less chores, more life, and more choices. Visit us on the web at bishopplace.net or call to schedule your tour today. We can't wait to see you.
The Clearwater River Casino and Lodge proudly supports Washington State University Athletics, the premier venue for events and entertainment, located 4 miles east of Lewiston, Idaho. Come hit the jackpot with us, with over 600 gaming machines, saltwater pool, restaurant, and giant screens in the Stadium Sports Bar. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe, our hospitality is legendary. Stay, play, and get away with the Clearwater River Casino. Go Cougs!
Back live here talking baseball with the skipper, Brian Green. Final segment. Skip, when you hear the fight song, we've got 60 seconds left. That'll be in a few minutes. We got a few minutes to chew the fat here.
Okay.
We've covered Trojans. We've covered comeback wins. We've covered a hot team here. And we haven't talked a ton about pitching. And now that our pitching coach, Anthony Claggett, is within earshot here in Zeppos, I want to talk a little bit more about the arms because they're fantastic in clutch situations over these last few weeks when they needed to be against really good offenses, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Arizona can really swing the bats. Oregon really can swing the bats. And the Zags, it was a tough game, to say the least, in Patterson Baseball Complex in Spokane a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, that was tough.
And here they are now, Grant Taylor and Cole McMillan. I mean, you've had big-time starts out of McMillan. Really, really good stuff in Eugene.
Yeah, his ERA has gone down like 3 runs in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Great competitor. All you need to know as to why is Cole McMillan having success is on Sunday he goes up to Clags, in the second inning and says, this is after his 125 pitches on Friday, which he was spectacular. And he says, if you need me for an inning to close this thing out to win a series, I'm ready for the team.
I love it.
Boom. So that's really, in a nutshell, why we're winning. We've got a lot of that stuff going on. But McMillan, he's learned how to pitch. Him and Clags have got a good thing going right now. Thought he kind of came in here as a thrower.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clags would agree with that. And he has become more of a pitcher. He's pitching to gloves, sides, curveball, cutter, slider, and change. But he's pitching. And I think if you look at us, Chaz, just why are we pitching so much better? We're pitching. And Coach, what are you talking about? There's a difference between chucking it and throwing it and pitching. And when we struggle, we throw it and we chuck it. Just like same thing with the hitting. When we're struggling at the plate, we're just hacking and hoping, and there's no plan. But when we're having success, we're throwing to the glove. When we're having success at the plate, there's a plan. We're sitting on a pitch, and we're diving into that pitch, and if we don't get it, we take it. And that's a mentally tough skill. But right now, the way that we're pitching, we are throwing to the glove and pitching. I know that sounds very simple. It's a very challenging thing to do, but we got 6-7 guys right now that Clags is dependent on that we've kind of used in the last 3 weeks, and that's the reason for the turnaround.
At this level, when the switch flips and a kid starts to get that, is it more fun for him? I mean, that's what really makes
me,
it. Well, you're both. Like, as a player.
Let's make it about me, Chaz, please.
Skip, how's this been for you when the switch flips for sure? It's got to be more fun because you're thinking the game more.
No, it's so cool to watch the kids when those light goes off,
Yeah.
The hitters and the pitchers, once they figure out that it's about the process and with the process and you're starting to think that way, how fun is that if you hit your spot on the mound and a guy gets a hit? It's not fun, but you hit your spot and you can go, I hit my spot.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Or if you're at the plate and you're sitting on a curveball and a guy throws you a fastball and you take it. And the moment that the hitter, when he takes the fastball, doesn't look and roll his eyes at me,
right,
and he actually goes, boom, fastball, I took it because I'm on the curveball, I'm dialed in.
Right.
Once you get that in baseball, that's when it becomes really fun because you really start studying it more. And we got a little of that going on right now, and we didn't have any of it going on a month ago. So that's when the game becomes really fun because then it becomes all about the strategies, the processes, the grind, the competitiveness, the pitch at a time. Studying how Gonzaga's pitching us last night, studying what their hitters are doing and what they're sitting on with 2 strikes. That's when the game's fun.
It's chess.
Yeah.
It's chess, not checkers. I mean, that's
when it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think baseball guys get that. And, if you're not there, Yeah. And then it's a common game, and it's so much more than a common game.
How much of that is withheld? Maybe at a big league level, it's a little bit different. Maybe more so, but there's competitive advantage stuff with that. Like, it makes it interesting to consume, but also if you spill the beans on some of that stuff.
Yeah, you got to stay quiet.
Yeah, you can't let it out there like, hey, we're trying to go fastball inside, but this guy, you can't let that out. Hot zones, cold zones, all that stuff.
In college now, it's kind of out there there's a lot of data that schools will invest in. You pay your $5-10 and the next thing that you can pull up heat maps. So now the chess match really becomes, for example, we're playing Oregon State and we're on Jerpy's fastball because he's dominant fastball statistically in week 4. So we're on his fastball, and we get on a couple of fastballs. This is the best pitcher in America.
Right.
And he just decides to go, you know what? Let me just go slider and change here. And that's why he's an All-American. He's one of the best in the country. Because he can. But, yeah, that's the game.
Wow. Thank you, Skip. Good stuff.
Go Cougs.
USC 5:45 airtime. Talk to you before that one at BP on Friday. Jared Prengruber gets us on the air. He's the man behind the camera. And Jerry Kylo gets us on the air. As always, back in the studio, Brent Wiseman is getting us on. Thanks so much for everybody here and for everybody listening or viewing. Go Cougs, 5:45 airtime on Friday.
Go Cougs.